Okay, I think I have this ready. Like I've been working on trying to get everything together and now have like my setup is a little different than it used to be. So I have a new microphone as you guys can see right here. I am working off of a real camera now for a face cam and I've got my trusty camera right here. So hopefully everything is working as it should. This meant that I didn't have to get out as many lights and things like that. So my husband just gave me the thumbs up that my sound is good, so that's happy to hear. So, anyway, I am like trying to get comfortable in my chair. Let's get comfy in my chair. We are going to be, let me go to my desk view here so you can see what I've got. So, we are going to be in Summer Nights tonight. Here it is. I'll be scooting it over. There we go. Let's scoot you over right there so you're easy to see. This has been a fun book to get to work in. I've enjoyed it actually quite a bit. I can show you a couple of my works in here that I've already done. This was off of a Peta Hewitt. She was a colorist on YouTube, so I colored along with her. So this was one of the few times where I've done something, following along with somebody else. She did it in one set of pencils. I did it in Prismacolor, so our pencils didn't line up completely. So it was kind of an interesting adventure, like reworking the colors in my own way. Here's one that I need to finish. I haven't finished yet. I've found it when I was flipping through. I was like, oh, I started that guy a while ago and never finished it. So here's the one we are currently on. I think I've got one more back here. Let's flip and see. Yep, here we go. This was another live stream series I did, and you can find it on my channel right there. Look at all those beautiful mushrooms. We are going to be doing red mushrooms today, which are some of my favorite. I did these based off of the Mario game, where you can all the different power-ups that you can get in the game, and I thought that was a fun way to do it. So I went through and each one of these was based off of a different. So we got B Mario right here. There's a thing like a death shroom or something I did off of there. The standard red, the green, the fire flower, or not the fire flower, but just different mushrooms there. So that was fun to do. And then just kind of, this was the idea of a Koopa right here with his fun. And then I did the background with, and these were the trees in the background. That's why I did the green there. Thinking through why I did different things. Yeah, there's a fire flower, and then that's an ice flower there. So yeah, just a fun memories right here of why I did different things on different bits, and then all the colors down at the bottom because it needed to be super comfy. The way you color is very nice. Thank you, Kershey Pop. Welcome. So, Mr. Sharpway's here watching too. He's also my husband who is in the garage making sure sounds okay. So he's in the garage by choice, not because he has to be out in the garage. But anyway, that sounded kind of really weird for a second. But anyway, just looking back on this one, I was a happy memory. So that whole series is on the YouTube channel. The Twitch thing is still very new, so I don't have a whole lot. I think that's the only other thing I have in this book. I'm double checking here because I know I did another one recently, and I think that was in a different book of hers. So right here, finished all of these off camera, so you can see we've got the blue, we got all of these, we've got our frog. I added his little black eyes last week off camera, and I am not gonna lie, they are some of my favorite things right now. When I did the black eyes on that, it suddenly popped and came to life. It's 2 a.m. Oh, it is very late for you. It is 11:22 here. I'm on the West Coast of the US, so thank you for staying up to enjoy it, because I'm just going to be coloring a couple of mushrooms down here today. I may do a couple of the crystals because I'm not for sure 100% on those. And then these mushrooms are going to be in some shades of brown. They're going to be a spot for the eye to rest. But I want to see all my other colors in play before I pick the exact shades for these. So that's why they're waiting. So even though they're a larger piece of this, they're going to be a later thing. So red, 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 all these little guys. Because I think these are to me, these seems like bigger versions of these. They're just easier to see. So we're gonna have all these little pops of red down here at the bottom. So, and then I see these fireflies. So when we get to the background, I'll be doing those. And I'm debating how much glitter I want to put on this because I like doing glitter, but glitter like is horrible for filming. Like it doesn't show up as well as I'd like. Like my last piece had a little bit of glitter and I'm like, nobody can see all that beautiful glitter. It's like for me, not necessarily for everybody else. So my other thought was fluorescent to like really make it pop, which that would pop a little bit more on camera. So we'll see, making my decisions right now. That's still a little ways off, so got some time to think, as well as we still have like all the undersides here. And I didn't do this bottom right here yet because that again was a color that was going to be dependent on some other things for picking the exact shade. I'm going to be right back before we get started because Lottie is getting ready to make her appearance. She is deciding it's time to come in, so I will let the dog in. It's time to say hi to everybody in the stream, Lottie. So here is Lottie. She is my little bit of fluff. And a little bit is exactly what I describe her. All 5 pounds of this little bit of fluff. She's been out enjoying some sunshine for a minute and decided it was time to come in. So say hi to everybody, Lottie. Say hi. Lottie, speak. Oh, she's not going to speak. That's like one of her favorite tricks. So. Hey, Lottie. I can't color while I hold you. So let's get started. So we're gonna work on these bigger ones first. So let me adjust my desk and we will zoom in on those. So you guys can see a little bit better. There we go, that's got a good frame right there. And a little bit more. Okay, that's got that going. I'm kind of sad because I can't hear the music. The new setup means that I'd have to wear headphones, and I do not like necessarily wearing headphones. The pencils I am using today and for this piece are the Kohinoor Progressos. They are woodless pencil. They look like these. They are very fragile. I will put that warning out there if you use them, that be careful. They break easy. This is a new set that I got. My old set are in pieces. So you can see that I still haven't made it to the point that I need to sharpen them yet. So they're still with their fresh, like out of the box sharpening, which, you know, is a little bit of fun here for me to get to enjoy. The red on this one is this carmine right here. It looks really pink in the package. I've learned that the hard way, but when you put it down, it is very red. So I'm going to go through. You see, it is. Yeah, I would say it's a pinker version of red, but it comes out to me very red. Especially considering I'm gonna put in some of the light vermilion next with it, and that will really take out some of the blue and the red that makes it the pinky red. I hope everybody is having a decent morning, evening, afternoon. I know lots of people from around the world watching. Originally a YouTuber. And so Twitch is new. So for those of you joining me on Twitch, welcome. You are among the first to get to watch and enjoy as this goes. I love my coffee. Oh, crud. I just hit the microphone with it. This microphone is going to be an interesting new adventure with all of this because it is sitting here. Good thing I had a paper towel ready. And my coffee is already cold. Ugh. Well. Okay, next. Do this guy. We'll do both of these at the same time rather than doing one and then the next. We're going to be using Gamsol to blend in a little bit. I enjoy Gamsol blending. It is an easy way to save your fingers. I feel like using colorless blenders sometimes. They're great for getting tight areas, colorless blenders, but can wear your hand out very quickly. A little bit down in here. We probably will come back and add more of that in a minute, but we're gonna go ahead and move over into the light vermilion right here. Now we'll start getting that orangier red, the mushrooms coming out. Okay, look at that getting color. I love as the color gets added. It is happy for me. We are going to add in orange in a minute too, and that will really orange up the red. Using my little circles. There we go. Deepen this on the edge a little bit. And I'm going to use the light violet now to really just kind of sink that edge just a little bit. Purple is always a great way to add depth for shadows. Oh, my little Lottie's getting on her stool next to me. My son is upstairs singing songs from Hamilton. In case you do not know who he is also the streamer Jay Breaks Games. He is singing the song that King George sings right now. So that's what I'm hearing. I know the microphone is not picking that up, so you guys aren't hearing it, but I sure can right here, and it makes me giggle a little. I'm going to scoot Lottie's stool a little closer because she's far away. Is that better? Now I can reach over and pet her. Okay, next, gonna add a little bit of orange. And this is straight orange. Its name is Orange. I don't think I have to set it down here for the, see? And one thing they used to not do is they used to not be printed like this. And I'm going to be honest, I think the printing is kind of ugly. So a lot of times over on my thing, I turn it to where you don't see it. You know, it's very useful, but it's not exactly the prettiest. This is going to look really orange for a minute, but once we do the Gamsol, it'll pull the red in on top of it. So don't freak out just yet. Only the first coat. Okay, now to blend. They're already looking great. I'm really excited about these. Of course, my favorite colors, my favorite mushrooms. As I keep hitting this microphone, we're gonna have to move this station right over here. Got a hair. All magically comes together. Get a little more Gamsol. Nobody's mowing today during the stream. Last week, we had people mowing their yards. I'm happy that we don't have anybody mowing. Keeping things very interesting. Also, Jaybreak Screams is not doing a 24-hour stream after I am done today. He just came down.
No, but I am now registered for my vaccine whenever an appointment becomes available.
Ooh, because he works at a coffee shop. He is considered an essential worker. Because he's in food service. Look at those sweet little mushrooms there. Now we're going to work on getting those shadows a little deeper, highlights a little brighter. That's the whole secret to creating dimension. Work the shadows, work the highlights. Work the shadows, work the highlights. Hey, which one of you loves me the most? Both my husband and my son are here. I need a coffee warm up.
I got you.
Thank you. And yes, I've been pulling the which one who loves me the most trick for a very, very long time. When we moved, we figured, my son is asking about the Chemex. We figured that the Chemex and the French press seemed a little much for the amount of downsizing we were working to do. And at the time, literally all we had was a camper, and a French press fit better than the Chemex.
Two big rules of life. The two things you never get rid of. Production capabilities and coffee hardware.
Although we can get a new Chemex. Like getting another Chemex is not a hard thing to get.
No.
Hello, Fresh News 24/7. Welcome. Hello. Yes, I always have my coffee. That's like one of the things that I do not have a French press today. My husband, Mr. Shrubway, somebody in his office tested positive, and so they sent his entire department to work from home for 2 weeks to be safe. So smart things. Thanks for having me. You are so welcome. And so he has been working, and that's the reason he's in the garage. Is like his setup is huge for what he needs. So it was the easiest to just have him set up in the garage. That's where he's moved his streaming stuff to because it had a lot more room. We tried both streaming from the living room. Now I work from home 24/7. Like I never go, there is no office for me to go to work. Like I'm a remote worker, contract 1099, whatever, like all of that. I'm actually a business, but you know, it's one of those, it's like I work from home. That is the end of the story. And so I fell out of bed. Oh gosh, that's not a good evening to fall out of bed and had to pass out on the floor until somebody got there to help you. Oh, I've been dealing with some back pain, and so I can understand a lot of people dealing with that now. Now, mine is not to the point that a lot of people have to deal with. That is giving me a new appreciation for what that means. But he has moved out. My husband has moved out, home worker. And so we can both be on stream at the same time, because trying to both stream from the living room, we were bleeding into each other's microphones. It was just a mess. So he got a cool setup. He grew more room. It got better for him. So, but yeah, so it's kind of strange to be streaming from different rooms in the house, but it works better. It also puts us onto 2 different nodes of our Wi-Fi so that we're streaming. It's actually better too, because then that way they're dividing the capability, because we have a mesh network that we like. And it works well. Deepening my shadow here. And there is a reason why I didn't put white in here first, because if you put white with the red, you end up with pink. And so I've learned that little trick that I don't put the white in on the bottom layer. I'll put in a little bit of white now. And this is the one spot where I'm going to deviate. I'm going to use my Prismacolor white because it lays down better for this than the Progresso white. It's a little, has a little more body to it. It's a little more opaque. Warm coffee, not cold coffee. Much better. I'm going to hit this microphone like 100 times. I'm I'm going to try not to. Okay, so now we're coming back with the carmine. So I have a fun idea, and I'm going to share it with you guys for once we finish this piece, because in all honesty, there's not that many more bits to this. And if I go ahead and order the next thing, I'm really excited about it, because part of me loves, like, the whole reason I started doing app reviews on my YouTube channel was because I honestly wanted things to go horribly wrong. Like, I just picked apps at random out of the App Store, and I was sad that, like, you can't search on the App Store by lowest rank. Like, there is a time where I think being able to sort them by lowest rank would be really useful, such as when you're looking for the worst app. And sadly, you cannot do that. And so I had one app that in that just totally, like, it crashed. Like, I couldn't even get it to open. And I was so excited. I was like, yes, a crappy app. That's what I want. I want the train wreck. I enjoy it. This one, I need to go to, this is light vermilion again. Look at how vivid that is becoming. All this red. But anyway, I loved that it was a train wreck. And so I found in a catalog this project, and I'm like, it looks too good to be true. And so I want to order it and see just if it's that awful. Like, I'm like secretly hoping it is. Like the little bit in me is like, oh, I hope it stinks. I hope it's awful. I hope it. And now we're gonna start adding this white in. It's gonna look a little milky right now. It'll calm down a little bit when I Gamsol in a minute. Okay, there's that. A little more Gamsol, a little more mixing. Calm down the white. And look at those fun red mushrooms. Oh, I just love red mushrooms. Okay, now we're gonna go ahead and do dots on these, simply because they're slightly different. We're gonna be using this light ochre. I need to swatch. Let me grab something I can swatch with. Real quick. Oh. Here we are. It's like I just had swatch paper yesterday. Okay, so we're gonna be doing this. You see, it's really subtle right there. I like that better, or do I want... This paper also has a no tooth on it. Yeah, I think we'll go with the regular brown first rather than sepia. So brown and like ochre on these dots. And I'm just coloring the whole thing in the light ochre first. We're using a lot of the light ochre when it comes time to do the undersides of the mushrooms. And now the brown. Just doing a little bit of brown on the underside here. There we go. Now we do a teeny bit of white at the top. There we go. There's our little mushrooms. Looking nice and warty. I love warty, like pumpkins and mushrooms and things. And so every like fall and Halloween, like I look for the wartiest pumpkin. Because they are my favorite. Is our music still playing? Yes, the music is still playing. It's like I can't hear it, and I'm kind of sad because like normally I'll like dance to it, so we're going to figure that one out. Okay, so now these are just really, really simple, and we're actually going to color them first, or the dots first, because otherwise we're just going to get bleed into those. I will probably honestly end up putting in white dots with gel pen when I'm done on these, just because those dots are tiny, and keeping them safe like from bleed from other things while I'm working is nearly impossible. It's very difficult. Like the amount, like I could get out my Prismacolor Very Thins. There's ways I can do it, but it's like it's a lot more technical, and I'm wanting to keep this simple and fun, not have to. That's the whole point of this live stream, is I'm using one set of pencils plus my Prismacolor White. I am not using a crazy amount of things. So, got an email from Dick Blick this week, and their Holbein pencils are now available. So, not their Holbein, but Holbein's. And so I'm very curious. Like, I am seriously thinking about getting a set and comparing them to my Prismacolors. And see what I think about them. I like my full set of Prismas. I use them. I also use my Kohinoors. Like there's spots that I use different things. Typically in coloring, I use my Kohinoors. I like them. The set of 72 typically works great. I actually really like my Kohinoor watercolor pencils a whole lot. My Mondeluz that I think they're a lot of fun. I also just got some ink tints. They're very different to work with, and I'm still figuring those out. So that's why you haven't really seen any videos with those. Because they're just different. They're their own bird. So. I'm gonna have to add a lot more dimension on these guys. They're really flat right now. I'll do that with, because they're so tucked away like here, like these guys, I'm not too worried about getting a strong highlight in. They're gonna be darker. This one would need a stronger highlight. Those are kind of tucked back and under. Everybody's having a decent Saturday. We've been really rainy, and so today is sunny. So I'm like thinking, like now that time change happened, like, and that made for a very painful week this week. Getting used to time change. Here, one of the joys of living in the U.S. is daylight savings time, and I understand why. It's so like the sun doesn't come up at like 5 a.m. You know, instead you get it. The sun will be up at times where you're more likely to be awake anyway. But it makes for a week where it's like the day's gone. Like you're looking and it's like you're always behind, and getting up in the morning is difficult because it's so early. I remember when having little kids with it, like you don't think about, oh, naps are going to have to adjust, you know, getting up and going to sleep changes. It's like there's so many little things you have to work with. Like, oh, it's a rough week. Oh, there's a text. I was like, what was that? It's my phone making a noise. Oh, I bet you guys heard it. I need to put my phone on Do Not Disturb. That would probably be useful because I'm Bluetoothing in. I'm just realizing that. There we go. That should help. Got a text. My family's texting right now. My brother is out skiing today. He lives in Utah. And that's one of the things he's enjoying a ton for living there, which I'm like, that sounds wonderful. I have never been snow skiing. Ever. I have a feeling I would love it. I used to water ski when I was younger. You know, they're not even close to the same. Everybody says like it's, but at this point it's been so long, I think maybe I might be able to learn. Okay, there we go. Now we're starting to get, like we had no dimension whatsoever on these at first. Now we're getting a little. There we go. Look at those. They look so cute. I adore little red mushrooms. Let's adjust. Oh, hitting that microphone. So I can get these guys. Okay, not that one. I'm like seeing which ones are visible in the camera. Okay, cool. My setup only allows for like some movement here, so if I try to adjust the camera a whole lot here, like this, the new rig, which I'm loving my new overhead rig. It is so much simpler than what I've used in the past. But it means that I have to, like, for my computer running things and where my pencils sit, my face cam, all of the bits. It's like, it's a lot. Okay, let's pull that off my face there. In today's outfit, I debated the most about my earrings, and I don't think anybody can see my earrings in the stream. Let's see, can you see my earrings? I'm gonna show them. I felt like they were a little too soccer momish. So. If you can tell, I wear hot pink lipstick, so that is, and that's like my favorite lipstick. So I had fun putting that on today. I have, in lockdown, like in quarantine and everything, like I haven't worn makeup, and I like a lot of days, like I don't blow dry my hair and things like that. So it's weird to do it again. Like I'm trying to remember how to get ready, what all are my steps, and so it's, we're going to be looking and seeing what's on frame here. You're on frame. Okay, come on. Oh, the light right there is a little much for it, so we're gonna bring the light. There we go. We're gonna take that light off and see. Hopefully that'll help. Yeah, that helps. Okay, cool. Or maybe I can send it up to my face a little bit more. And not onto the page. Adjust. There we go. Give myself a little more light. Okay, adjust. There we go. That way I keep light up here, but it's not hurting this. I'm still having trouble. It's wanting to focus on my hand. We're going to go to manual focus then. That'll lock it. Okay, there we go. That works better. The little tricks I've had to learn working in creating like video for this, like learning that you can't necessarily use autofocus because autofocus tends to make it all like mess up. Like it wants to focus on the hand rather than the piece. And I had a lot of videos early on, and I like making sure that my journey is online, so that's why I haven't taken those videos down. But there's a lot of videos where it's like, I'm sorry, but the focus is on my hand, not on the piece I'm creating. Okay, so there we go. I've done the ones so I know which ones you can see. They're so tight and so little. They're so cute. They should probably technically be brown mushrooms because, like, I'm thinking of what I see at the supermarket and things, and that they would be little brown that look like this. But I needed red mushrooms. I need to put in the yellow ochre on the dots. These dots are so tiny. It's more so to keep other pigment from coming in than to. You don't really see it. There we go. Hopefully that'll protect it a little bit. Coffee sip. Okay. Now we're gonna go to that vermilion. So, a little bit of a spoiler, J-Breaks Games is working on an SMP right now with some friends. And I'm not going to say any more than that, but it will be coming soon. Really light transition area to take the orange in. Gonna just when I get that the next layer, and these are just gonna get great. Keeping the shadows. So at the end of the stream, I'm gonna show what the next idea is. So I'm excited about it. I will let you guys know what is coming. That beautiful hoping that it turns out horrible. Hoping for the train wreck. Kind of a neat color scape. I'm going to add some more red into it, but kind of enjoying that on its own for a future idea there. Kind of burnt orange color coming through. I love purple and orange together. It's one of my favorite combinations. I also really love burgundy and lime green, like the amount that I use shades in that. And actually, it turns out like the blending, like there's weird combinations like you don't normally think about until you're working. Like I have some original pieces that I've done where suddenly you realize, oh, it's this color and this color together, and it's like the strangest combination. Like again, that whole idea of burgundy with lime green and shades like that, like coming together, and it's like those are the two I'm gonna have to blend right now to get that shade. And when you realize, oh, that's it, it's like it's such a neat feeling when you're creating. So anyway, side note on that. Now let's get these to look a little bit more like red. Wait a minute, what happened here? My pencils are in the wrong order. They jumped over. Okay, why are you guys, what just happened here? 5, 6, 7. You guys were just all kinds of messed up. Maybe that happened last week when I was working. It's like all of a sudden I looked like my green is in the totally wrong spot. This is really shadowed. I'm going to bring a little bit more light down. That's part of the reason why this light's here. There we go, getting that light vermilion in. In case you're wondering, I am barely putting any pressure down. Pigment level for these not being like super high end pencil is incredible for these, just FYI. I am not sponsored by them. I have enjoyed using them for years. I would not be adverse to a Kohinoor sponsorship. Although it would make it hard for me to review other items. So there's some sponsorships. It's like HelloFresh wouldn't be too bad because that would mean that I could still test art supplies. Like it wouldn't bias that. Like. Okay, coming together now. We're gonna grab that light violet over here. Put in that shadow. Right around the edge right there. teeny bit more on these. There we go. Look at that. They look like happy little mushrooms right there. So that's got those done. We're an hour in, so we've got a lot of time. I think it's time to start thinking about the blue mushrooms here. I may not do all of them on this, or do I do the pink? Do I start putting in some of this lower bits? Because this green doesn't really matter for these, because I can adjust that, or it could even be purple, depending, once we kind of see this, because it's supposed to be summer nights. So deep purple would also make sense here for those. Kind of really, ooh, if I did purples coming down onto this and made these like really deep purple, that could be really, really cool. That to kind of help like really anchor it in to a more of a night feel. Also a super, super dark green, like going into this right here a little bit more, the Hooker's green can also do that. So I'm not, although it says this one's dark green. Some of the names on these is just funny. Okay, so it says this is dark green. Let's color. I would not necessarily say that's dark green. This is Hooker's green, which that is based off certain pigments in paint. I just find that one hard to say that's dark green. How's that coffee? That coffee is wonderful. Thank you, Mr. Shrubway. He's the one who makes the coffee, by the way. I will totally give him all the credit for the coffee. What color will the stripy ones be? The stripy ones are going to be brown. I'm waiting till I get a lot of the other colors put in. Here, let's zoom out for a minute while we're talking. The reason why I'm not doing those yet is because the exact shading of brown will depend on how the rest of it looks. And I haven't decided the exact shades on those. So waiting, because these are going to be kind of a neutral browny black kind of thing going on there. Kind of like B Mario, if you want to think about it, but not as bright yellow. More of a ochre brown in that. So, okay, I think we can go ahead. Now I'm thinking purple here. So these are like amethyst crystals, I guess. Dark green, darker purple. Let's start adding in some of the stalks, because honestly, stalks are all very similar colors. Let's look at, did I do that in this one? So you see kind of here, this is what I'm going to be doing. Now the shading with this right here, it gets a little bit weird. It's similar to skin tones in which you use colors that you don't necessarily guess. So we're going to start with our yellow ochre. That is our base. We're fading into white in the middle. We'll be using the brown as one level of highlight. Into the sepia, which is right here, which will give me a firmer, see how that is a lot more than blue. And I don't think it's that blue. Is it that blue? Which blue did I use? I can't remember which blue I used. It's not that one. I'm pretty sure it was the first one I grabbed. Yeah, it was. I was correct. It is not, because the sky blue, yeah, it is this blue right here. It is Paris blue. Super light in there. I mean, it's up in here. You can see it up in there. It really, the weirdest thing with this blue for coming in and putting shadows on that. So wanted to show that because I knew that this piece had it. I'll zoom in a little bit here so you guys can see it a little bit more. Up in here, a little bit more. Let's go tight so that it's visible. Uh-oh, my camera just timed out. Hold on. There we go. Needed a new battery. Fortunately, that was pretty much an easy switch. I also warmed my coffee up while I was away for a minute. So now that I'm zoomed in here, we'll zoom in really tight and then we'll use our autofocus for just a second. Grab that. You don't like it. Okay, we're going to come out just a little bit. It's too tight. There we go. So what you can see here is this in here was done with the sepia and the Paris blue, okay, to get that exact shade. That blue is what's the interesting addition on all of these. So I was showing how it kind of works here. Now it's like the lightest bit, like you don't press real hard. And then let's hit this with Gamsol. Now, one of the things you want to do when using Gamsol with this, there's my paper towel, is rather than pulling the blue this way, I'm going to be pulling out. Because if I pull the blue in, it's going to bleed it will bleed a whole lot more. And I don't necessarily want that bleeding. I want it pulling. So when I blend, it'll blend a little bit. Hi, Kaiser Wilhelm. Welcome. So let's jump in. We will work this one right here. There we go. We'll set up right like this for the frame. Make sure we're focused on that. And we will get to work on some stems. And this is going to add a ton to it. We're also going to, these guys that are up in here, that are all up above Mr. Frog right there. Still doing the mushrooms. Yes, we did red. See? We've got red mushrooms now added too. So now we're going to start doing stems. I had some fun. Oh, Lottie just heard something. I'm sure you guys could hear her bark. There are some dogs next door that bark a whole lot. And so then she has to talk back, you know, because that's just the way it works. I had fun with my Twitter today, like saying, doing some shrooms. Anyway. But they are not legal in California yet, which is kind of surprising, like of all the things that are legal. Okay, so let's get started. So we're going to do this one a little bit. Normally you work dark to light. I'm going to start with the ochre on this because laying in the shadowing is a little tricky. And it kind of helps me to have this color in first. And I know it looks really, really subtle right now. We're just doing all of this under here. This color isn't super, super, super there. I think I'm going to use the darker shade for the bands to really create an outline around the mushrooms. Part of the reason why I didn't do those yet was I was deciding exactly the real life GTA. I think everything should be Florida. I will say Florida does give the rest of the world some entertainment. Okay, so let's start real light here. One of those things that you can always add more color. It's a lot easier to add more than it is to take it. I saw a dude had a pet crocodile. Doesn't surprise me. For 50 years. I didn't know they lived that long. Wow. That's a long time to have a pet. That's quite the commitment. Once when I was in Florida, we ran over an alligator, like with our car on the interstate. That was interesting. Yeah. Can't believe alligator. um, so you can start to see a little bit starting in here. Again, lots of layers. I have a pet cockatiel. That's cool. We have never had, okay, I can't say never because we had chickens, and chickens are birds. But not like you have them in a cage in your house birds. We've never had, or let them fly free in your house birds. We've never had like that kind of a pet. We had chickens for eggs, and they became like pets. Because at the time we didn't really have pets other than fish. So the kids really got attached. One of our chickens liked to be pushed on a swing. And I have a picture of my son pushing his chicken on a swing when he was little. There we go. Now you can start to see it coming together here now. Let's add the sepia. And look at suddenly now we're getting that dimension. That dimension is starting. So starts getting a little bit of shape. You can see that now it's all starting to wake up a little bit here. And a little more. I'm looking at it in the camera, seeing how much you guys can see. I know that my light makes it a little bit hard, especially with these subtle colors like this. Like, seeing it by itself, but then you start comparing it over here and you can see, oh, that has a tint to it rather than being just white. So. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and blend this now before we put the blue in. Okay, there's that one. The other side. Do cockatiels talk? Are they one of the birds that kind of... I'm trying to remember all the birds. Like, I am not super knowledgeable in all the different birds. Oop, my coffee mug and the mic are at war today. I am sorry, everybody. I'm going to turn that a little bit this way. Look at that. Look at this mushroom cap. Now, over on Instagram, I will work on all of these mushroom caps off camera once I'm done, because I'm not going to do all of them today. And so you can catch this over on the Instagram. When I'm done, I will post that. So it'll be whatever time I finish today, it'll go up. Last week, I worked for 4 hours after stream. So that can kind of give you an idea of how long that can take. So here we go, adding in this blue. There we go. Blend that in a little bit more here, kind of. And now you can see why the blue is the blue really does add a lot. So I like it in here. My bangs are separating again. All right, there. So there's that. Now let's add in the shade on, we're gonna throw some shade onto the stem to make it have some dimension as well. Okay, add a little bit more GERD on this. And now the sepia will really set that edge. I need to clean this because it has blue on it. There we go. There is a stem put in. So now you can see a little bit of color there. Beautiful brown mushroom stem. Now we rinse and repeat on all of the other mushrooms. What time is it? 12:40. We'll do the stem and then I'll put in the dark line so that we can all see that here in a minute. Excuse me. YouTube truly is a great way. I like YouTube because I know it. You never know what you might find. Then again, I watch a lot of art videos and Hermitcraft. My latest thing on TV is I've been watching 600 Pound Life, and mainly because I'm on my own weight loss journey right now, and it's a little bit of motivation for me. Not that I think I'm that big, but you know, it's just, if they can do it, I can do it, you know. And I love a good redemption story. Charlie, who's Charlie? I watch art to do more with Charlie. Okay. I think you talked about him last week, and I have not. Penguin Zero. Yes, you did. You talked about him last week. And then I worked on this for like 5 hours afterwards and totally forgot. We also watched Falcon and the Winter Soldier last night. I didn't realize it was going to be coming out so quickly. Great question of what is YouTube's limit? I just didn't realize that one was going to be coming out so quickly, like after WandaVision. Like I thought we were going to have like a little bit of a downtime, like a couple of weeks. Of course, has it like been 2 weeks since WandaVision finished? I can't really remember now. Just thinking about it, it's like, I feel like I just finished that and now I'm jumping into a new one, and the tone was so different. Like this is, like this one isn't a story of trying to, it's not a quirky mystery trying to figure it out like Lost or X-Files, you know, kind of show that WandaVision had. It's more of your standard, more of a standard drama. Looking at redemption arcs and struggles in daily life, all of those things. So, ooh, I like that. I like you a lot. There are some times when it just comes together. And you're like, yes. Let's put in the teeny bit of blue up in here. Up in here. Up in here. There we go. And blend that in. Started watching an animated series. Good. Oh, 2 to 3 months. Yeah, it's almost better to wait for like several months and then be able to binge watch them at that point. I get that totally. But, you know, you also think about independent creators like doing it on their own. You know, that takes time. Too. And I would rather wait and have it be something good than have them trying to put out too much content. We're going to deepen this a little bit more on top of that. Add in a little more sepia up there. There we go. Because I liked it on the other one. So, okay, so now that we see those, let's figure out the exact shade of blue I'm going to put around the mushrooms. So that is our shade that is going in rather begin this side. Yeah. You can never unrelease a game. Like people are going to be disappointed if a game is late, but it's better to have them like what was the word? There was like a phrase that a developer used for that. that disappointment will be temporary, but a bad release, like the disappointment is permanent on it. So anyway, so okay, so here are shades of blue I was just playing around with. We have this guy, which he's super bright. I think we're gonna go with this one. Let's go ahead and put this in. We may have to blend a little bit on top just to get the tone right. Yeah, we will. So this is a point where, yes, I would use a blender pencil to get these to blend. I do not have one. Actually, I think my Prisma is right behind me. Back just a little bit, maybe just a teeny bit of purple on this. Pull some of the green out because it's a little too green. There we go. So that's going to be, so you kind of saw how those all came together. Like that was a lot of shades thrown on. And we got to this beautiful stripe right there that's going to help define those two layers. I'm just watching the time because I want to show you guys what I'm doing so that what I do off camera you'll understand, because literally all of these stalks are going to be the same thing. So even on the red guys over here, this stalk is going to be that. So I'm going to be doing a lot of stalks. On this one, we're going to do orange. The yellow, the dark yellow. I don't think I care for that much. Let's throw a little vermilion on there. For history, Mark Felton. Okay. I'll throw a little vermilion here now. Ooh, I think we found our winner. Look at that with the vermilion. I took all those layers though to get this shade right here. Yeah, there we go. We'll tie these into the red mushrooms below too. Kind of give a little bit of a togetherness. I still haven't decided completely on these drops. I'm probably going to go with the darker shade instead of going lighter with them, because I think that would just look really, really cool. So that, again, this vermilion right here. Let's go ahead. Let's go for it. Oh, I'm just realizing I totally did that one off camera. I am so sorry, everybody. There we go. There we are. So I think we're going to go for the vermilion. We're going to dive right in and we're going to go for it. So I'll start on a bigger one right here because it'll be easier to see. Fill it with the orange. Okay, with that with in a little bit here. We'll come back once that dries in just a second and okay, there's that. Blend those. Need to let those sit for a second. Let's go ahead and get you. So rare that I get to work in a solid shade like this. This is the shade I want. No blending necessary. I watch history YouTube to sleep. I love history, and a lot of times it'll end up on there if I'm letting it autoplay while I'm doing things. But I cannot, I need the TV on to sleep to help keep other noises from waking me up. But at the same time, I can't have a plot or the plot will keep me awake. Okay. There's that. I can't imagine watching John Wick for sleeping. Oh my god. I'm sure there is somebody out there who probably does. Doom soundtracks. Okay, so I have not listened to any Doom soundtracks. But I play the cello, and my son brought me down somebody playing something yesterday, and they were like playing a cello almost like you play a guitar. And I had to tell him he was not allowed to play my cello that way. But it was really cool sounding. I think it was a TikTok. Ooh, I like those. I like those. I'm gonna bring this up with some yellow in here. Like a giant violin, pretty much. You don't need to know what. There we go. Oh, I like that. Oh, and that's going to stand out so well against our frog right here. I am really happy with those. So, be doing a lot of those off stream. Let's go ahead and we'll do one of these with a beige stem so we can see it. We'll do one of each of the mushrooms that we've done so we can kind of get an idea. We'll do this one coming all around the back here. Scoot right there so you can see it comes all the way down here. Okay. Brown, brown, brown. I have a feeling I will end up doing a my background will probably be pastels on this. I enjoy doing the pastel work on things, so I'm leaning towards that right now. I may go back. Sometimes I do pastels to lay in something and then come with my pencils to make some darker areas. Or I can get out my pastel pencils, which I also have those, and come in and blend that way as well. I have choices. I have options. Keeping my options open, guys. Sepia that can't really put in a lot of sepia on these. They're so skinny. Okay. There we go. Look at that guy. Watching my time here. I got 15 more minutes. Okay, there's that one. And then let's do this red one right here will help us see. If I can get over there. There we go. That'll sit well. And then we can see all of them with a stem. Oh, he has some under, a little bit of under here too. He's also a little guy. Anybody else play any instruments? Curious out there who plays things and what you play. Okay. That's going to dry for a minute. It's actually going to dry a little lighter. This stem is still a little wet too. Once the Gamsol dries, it'll go a little lighter. My brush has gotten pretty well saturated, so it's holding a little bit more. Okay, that's got that. These are coming together really well. Just having fun looking at it and thinking what else I want to work on stream as we get this to the point where we can start moving. I think let's go ahead and we'll figure out these, because I think I want the stars to be white and I'm gonna put white glitter on them. I know I was talking about glitter earlier and how it doesn't show up great, but I really think white glitter would be nice. And then we'll do the normal, we'll do the ochre warts like we did on the red, and that'll help tie them together. that was a white. And then that just gets regular brown on the bottom. I know Mr. Shrubway plays the nose flute. He's not talking right now. It took me a minute to remember what that was called. There we go with those. And a little bit of white on top. Color these white too. That'll just keep anything from bleeding into it. And since the paper does have a teeny bit of tint to it, it's like a slightly beige. That'll kind of help lighten them up. Go ahead and color these stars white. We're coloring white. Excitement. Riveting video here. But a necessary step. Pro tip. When using your white to blend, make sure you sharpen it between or clean it off on a piece of paper before you switch to different color blending with it. Because it can hold some color on it. Right there, I just got some red from somewhere. It just came out. It happens. Okay, that's looking good right there. Let's go up here now. Get them all done so I don't forget where I stopped. It's like we're going to be doing slugs next week. Oh, I'm going to have to pull out some pictures of slugs to get the shade, the colors right. That's going to be hilarious. It's going to be totally a flashback. I'm going to see if I can find a picture of the ugly slug that I used to have as a child growing up. That, honestly, it is so ingrained in my mind. How did I have that in frame earlier? There we go. I'm trying to figure this out. I wasn't zoomed out that much. We'll work a little bit more on these reds down here. We've got 10 more minutes of stream. He's so little. Let's see if I can maybe get a teeny bit of a shadow on him. A tiny bit. These little ones, it's really hard to get anything. There's like no room. Double fisting pencils right now, guys. And go to the triple. Dot at the end there. Have to do a teeny bit up here. These little guys, they're just, I can get these done super, super fast. Okay, there's that. In a minute here, I will do the big reveal for what is going to be next that I was teasing earlier. Okay. Let's get over here. Do these little ones, and we'll do the bigger ones. Go. Two more. Actually, are big enough I can do something with. Okay. Fast now. Need to work a little bit on the blending on these. There we go. I got it. Okay, that's got those finished. Are you guys ready to see what the next project is going to be? Zoom out here. Have it focus. We'll go back to the auto. right here. Okay. So I received this catalog in the mail. And it's from a company that I used to do some felt stockings for Christmas, like the really corny ones that like you can get them to be like really over the top, like with all the sequins and everything. So I got those. And I thought, oh, this will be a lot of fun. We'll work with this. We'll do some things. And so here is what came and I saw. So these on the cover, and I will zoom in a little bit here so you can see them more in their glory. Okay, focus right there. These are supposedly paint by numbers. I know. And I was like, I don't think that these are going to turn out looking like they do in the picture. So I'm going to order the succulent one because I have done some color pencil work, and you can see some of those pictures on Instagram that are original drawings. They're available on my Redbubble, all of that you can get prints of succulents. I've done them with colored pencil. I know what succulents look like. I can actually create succulents that look really good. That's like one of the things I enjoy drawing. So I thought it would be a hoot to see if this kit actually lives up to this picture, because this looks almost photorealistic right here. So I want to get it. I want to see. I'm like, so I'm going to order it when we finish this picture. Hopefully it'll be here. And then that way we can jump in and we can see, does this live up to all what this looks like? I mean, look at these guys. They have these ones right here where they've got them on like these flowers and the flamingo and everything. So I'm going to get the succulents and we will see. So I'm looking forward to doing that. Like, you have no idea like how much I'm looking forward to it. Like, it's like so funny. Like, I used to do paint by numbers when I was a kid, and like I didn't have brushes that were small enough, so I would literally do them with toothpicks to get the paint in. Like, I would paint so I don't know if I ever actually finished one. I don't think I ever actually finished one. My mom probably threw them all away. All these unfinished kits with dried up paint. But anyway, so that's coming up soon. Let's zoom out. We will see this picture for where we are on it. So you can see it starting to come together. Next week, a lot of this will be done because I will be doing all of these bits off camera so that all the mushrooms have a stalk and all the mushrooms we have started will be totally finished, stalk and details, so that we only have things we haven't done ready to go. That'll be it. I haven't decided what color I want the spots on the frog to be. I can't decide if I want to go lighter or darker on those either, if I want them to be yellow spots or dark green spots. So be thinking about that as well as getting this crown done. Like I don't like doing gold bits so much. I'll have to look at some pictures and figure that out again, like all the exact shades. Normally I cheat and use my gold, but then it doesn't, like, you can't blend with these so much. So, but I'll be deciding that it will be a gold crown for sure with rhinestone, with like gems and stuff in it. But I have to decide. I think he'll need green. I think this frog would have emeralds because he is very green. It's not easy being green, but anyway, so that'll be where that all is. I look forward. Mr. Hoot, yes, he is just judging us. He is. You know what's funny? Like, okay, sorry. Totally remember. So when I was working on this one, the entire time we had this cat with an acorn hat staring at us. It just reminded me of the cat. Too. So we've got the owl now. We have the cat. So anyway, that is just fun. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this stream. I've enjoyed getting to hang out with you guys today. I will be back next week. Hopefully I will make 10 a.m. I try to do 10 a.m. my time, whatever time that is for you. I'm Pacific. But today I slept in, so it was 11 by the time I got everything set up and ready to go. So I look forward to seeing you next week. Until then, I'll have a couple of shorts this week. Maybe I will get an app review out. I'm not promising that because I would have to film it and edit it between now and Tuesday. So be looking for the shorts. Been having a lot of fun with my Spirograph, and my shorts, of course, are over on YouTube. I play with my Spirograph. I absolutely adore Spirographs. I think they're a blast. So anyway, that is it for this week. I will see you next week. Bye.